Okay, welcome to the show. The show is Honest View. You know that right here on the show, we'll discuss all issues without holding back. And then discussions vary from the home affairs to relationships, family, children, intimacy, matters of the heart, social media, goes and everything. And even we go into things happening in the polity. And most importantly, we discuss these issues from the woman angle. My name is Yinka Kenny. Welcome to the show. And you know that as usual, this is what I'm saying today.
I love this show.
You know, inside my mind, I wanted to, Thompson walked into the studio. I wasn't with my glasses, so
you did not really encapsulate.
No, I actually saw her, but I didn't. I saw the image, but I didn't really, and because I was doing 1, 2, 3 things, so I just did like this.
Oh my God!
All right, the ladies are here on the show. Okay, let me start from Boma.
Hi guys, good evening. My name is the Boma Johnson, representing the millennials and the Gen Z, as you can see, right? Like you get it. It's clicking. Okay, let's not talk too much. You get it. Yep, Boma Johnson and the other person.
Which one is the other person?
The other person. Because I don't know who this is. This is not my co-host. Go and bring back my co-host. Who this person is with Adagbadi. And
as you can see, you are my African queen.
Yeah, but it actually looks
lovely.
Yeah,
I will not tell you it's fine.
Take me where I've never been.
You are not fine.
My name is Oluwatomi Siaje.
That's body shaming.
Some people are
That's body shaming.
Whether they body shame or beauty shame or whatever kind of shame, I am not ashamed.
Oh, shame.
Be scared of person that is not ashamed.
Come on.
My name is Oluwatomi Siaje.
All right.
So next conversation.
We are ready.
See, we came like this.
Fully kitted.
We are ready.
We are ready because this
As
one.
soon as YK introduces the topic,
Ah.
we're ready for the basketballs.
Whoa, this one touch everybody. That's why I like this topic.
You see,
it
as far as
touch
I'm concerned,
everybody.
As far as I'm concerned, so people can choose not to eat dinner
After
this conversation.
Oh yeah, now.
All right. Well, you heard that Thompson was about to drop
I did not drop it.
an ain't there. But today we are talking basically about Nigerian women. Why? Because we are Nigerian women, and we are particular about what happens, to Nigerian women, home and abroad. All right, oftentimes Nigerian women, they've been portrayed through limited lenses. And, I beg to say that Nigerian women are indeed powerhouse of talent, and they are filled with a lot of resilience. When you talk about innovation, you talk about Nigerian women. They shatter glass ceilings and they forge ahead in any path that they decide to choose. You can talk about from the science world to the technology world to art, and all over the world, Nigerian women, they are making a name for themselves and changing the game. Okay, we have women, across the globe that they have, they are from Nigeria and they have made a mark. We have the likes of Professor Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Wow. She's a world-renowned economist who served as the Director General of the World Trade Organization. She's the first woman and the first African to hold that particular position. We want to talk about Chimamanda. Chimamanda, she's also an award winning winning novelist whose work has been translated into over 30 languages, and she is one of the most important voices in contemporary African literature. I'm coming to art right now. Yemi Alade.
Let's go there.
No, I want to give them, let them know. Yeah.
Give them receipts.
Yeah.
When you say women,
exactly.
You have them.
Yes. So let's talk about Yemi Alade. Yemi Alade, she's a Grammy-nominated Afro-pop singer. She is one of the biggest stars
Oh yeah.
in Africa.
Africa,
Yes.
yeah.
And amidst all of this, there is still this stereotype that Nigerian women, they still have to deal with. Well, today, our case study is the newly appointed female GMD of Zenith Bank, Dame Dr. Adaora Umeoji. She happens to be the first female GMD CEO of the bank, subject to the approval of the CBN, which will take effect on the 1st of June 2024. Despite the fact that our appointment is consistent with the bank's executive succession plan and almost 3 decades of banking experience, 26 of which she spent in Zenith Bank. Let's not even go to our CV. That is so
Loaded, overloaded.
Yes, robust. We realize that we've had a lot of back and forth on social media, alleging that she doesn't qualify for that job. Oh my God! And I say, why? Now, with all the facts on ground, I ask this question. I dare to ask
The question.
that if these had been a man,
Okay,
would we have all of this back and forth on social media?
Okay,
Let's go there.
Very, very good.
The first
Thank
thing,
you for this question you asked. God will bless you,
the
Madam
first
White.
thing
Oh yeah.
that came to my mind when she was appointed is, now let's wait for the feedback. Because
So are you saying that you were
Wish.
expecting?
Like winch. Una social media don't turn to winch, where they winch people.
Witch hunting.
You know, the bad part of it is this woman was appointed, and then somebody had the audacity to go on social media to say they didn't talk about the husband and the children.
Honestly, I saw that.
And the first thing that said to me is, are we sick? Is there something wrong with us somewhere?
No,
That the definition of success for a woman is first. It's first defined by the man whose name she bears, and then by the number of children that she has
or doesn't
have. So whenever you hear of a woman, you're quickly asking the question, is she married? I hear some very foolish people, and I'm very proud to say that word. Foolish people come and say, until you marry, you have not achieved.
Language. Something.
You see, when you come and use that language and you tell us that until you're married, you have not achieved, we also look at you and say, until you have gone to the world to learn proper sense, you are not sensible. Because in the actual word, when you are a man, we do not judge you by anything but the capacity that you have. As a matter of fact, we look at you first by what you bring to the table. We don't ask you how many certificates you have. We don't ask you, have you gone to DMD, BBC, LMD, LBM, whatever. We just look at you and we listen to what you spew. But a lot of men, I am very sorry, they have PhD, they have so many ridiculous degrees, and they spew nonsense when it has to do with the woman. Are we that really, really micro-minded as a people that we do not look at people any longer as humans? It is now a category of the humans, the men, and then the women, the second class citizens. I beg to differ. I am not one.
Honestly, my question, since this news broke and the internet has been gbas, and I am like, do you need the validation of a man to be who you are?
Not to even achieve.
To be successful, do you need the validation of that institution called marriage? Or do you need the validation of having children? Is that what makes you, is that what counts? Is that what makes you successful? Is that what, honestly, I begin to ask various kinds of questions. And you see, this is part of the things that makes a lot of women out there to shortchange themselves, limit themselves. They want to be, they are like, I have seen a lot of women, just go into marriage all for the sake of the fact that,
let me be somebody's name.
Yes, because I am getting up onto this ladder. Okay, I remember when I was before I got married, I had a very very good job, and I could afford to get a car. But somehow, my mom would not allow me. She would tell me that, oh, no, you will not get a husband, and all of the likes. Let me even say that is over 20 years ago. Sometimes 2 weeks ago, I met a particular woman. She's been a friend all the while. So we got talking, and she was telling me about how her daughter has become so successful. I said, wow, that's interesting. So we spoke to the extent of the fact that I think I asked, I can't remember how we got into that discussion about cars. And she said to me that she actually told her not to buy a car. We're talking about a lady that is a deputy manager in a new generation bank.
So she spends all of her money on transport fare.
And I'm like, excuse me? And she said, no, she won't get a husband. And I said to her,
seriously?
I said, at this level this lady is, would you want her to get married to someone that rides an Okada?
I like where this conversation is coming from, and it would seem like I've been quiet because this is one of those topics where it hits close to home, and I really just want to listen to, the questions and the opinions. See, some of the write-ups, because when this was put, I went to check, and I saw things like, oh, if we check now, the people she slept with, allegations without premise. People are spewing things. Some people never knew of this lady before she was announced.
I'm telling you.
By this leadership. Some people have never heard of her. They don't know her name, except from, of course, maybe the Zenith Bank community or the banking industry or the money or economic industry as a whole.
Do you know how many awards she has won,
so
even in Nigeria?
And let me tell you what baffles me the most is that people did not even bother. So let's say I have this opinion, Abi. I can go and research. Let's say this is what I think of a person based off of one or two things. I cannot decide to go online. Information is everywhere. I can go and research so that it will help me not to spew
nonsense,
something out of my mouth that has no backing. But they will rather spill that thing, create a bias in the minds of people.
Not even in Zenith Bank. I have a kind of history with people, over the years that works in Zenith Bank. Zenith Bank, you grow, you climb the ladder gradually.
And she's been a deputy.
It's not even about the banking industry. Anywhere you go,
any industry you find yourself.
This, how you started 20, 30 years ago in the media, it's not where you are now.
Exactly.
The network you've amassed and you've pulled cannot be compared to the network that I have. I will most likely be riding on your network now and saying, oh, let's collaborate, let's partner, maybe based off of the new generation style, the things that I know now, maybe things that you're not so familiar or so hip with. That's the way life works. So to handpick somebody, again, this goes to that thing about we bully people. When this if I saw when the guy was saying, oh, he's sorry, he was just saying, I'm like, no, this is the problem. You were just saying, but you've put this notion in the minds of 30 other men like you, who it probably crossed their mind but shut it down, and it has spread like poison, like wildfire.
It has now become an opinion.
A notion. Now, what will happen is there are also women like her right now climbing the ladder, facing a lot of higi haga, for lack of a better word, I don't want to use the word in my mind, facing a lot of backlash, facing a lot of hiccups. Do you know that women have to struggle and strive, and this is statistically
twice as hard?
No, 10 times statistically. Like Google it, 10 times as hard as the average man who is less. Let me tell you this. These are the internet people who is less in skill. That's the part that is maddening to me. That is a woman who have a PhD and MSc just to maybe compete with a man with an HND. That is maybe just sitting somewhere giving orders, not necessarily doing the legwork. A woman has to fight 10 times as hard, and that already is like a disadvantage. Then a woman does that above all, struggles, all ends, bypassing systems, stepped on, kiss ass, just say there's a goal. I know we're very resilient when we have a goal in front of us. Women generally say there's a goal, no worry. I would kiss ass if that's what it takes. I would take the insult
until I
get there because I know what I'm pursuing. You do you be you.
Yeah.
And after they've done that, getting to this point where she's finally recognized for everything that she's done, and somebody first says, oh, where's the husband? Oh, where's the children? I feel like sometimes we even cause problems when there are no problems in people's lives. Because the husband may be somebody who is okay with his wife and the success she's achieving, and then voices begin to, there's a way that you can allow words seep into you, and you begin to feel as if you begin to see things that are not there. I don't think we understand the extent to which the things we say can damage people's lives.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue I have.
Comes back to Cardi B, one of the biggest arts
Rap artists right now in Afro pop music.
Cardi B said something on social media yesterday, and I heard it. She said social media is responsible for some of the damage that she feels in her personal life, in her career, that it has so affected her, so much so that she's practically scared of social media. So you now see the reason why they would strangely have the whole of the Republicans and the whole of the Democrats coming together in a Congress in the US to ban TikTok. Because they have gotten to the level where it has gone.
It's now dangerous.
It's not dangerous.
It's
not saying, fun. You know what? We have bridged the gap. We have gotten to communicate with one another. We have gotten to bridge, barriers.
So
but it has gotten to the level where people are dying. People are depressed.
Suicide.
People are okay in their houses. I mean, they're very fine. And then one day you just wake up in the morning
and somebody has an opinion.
Somebody just writes something really ridiculous. I mean, somebody is on social media right now watching this show and is looking at all of our fingers. So please, sisters, let me show them our fingers. Somebody is looking at our fingers right now saying, oh, they're talking like this because they're not married.
Yep. I promise you.
Somebody is actually thinking it. So I am resonating with you. See, let's have that conversation. You are thinking it. Let us confirm it to you. You don't have to think it. We are women, and we are absolutely undeterred.
Human first now.
We are undeterred by your opinion about what we are, who we are, where we want to go to with our lives. And we have an opinion. We were not created to be second class or third class or fourth class to anybody. We were created equal. All men were created equal. We have already been, we have been disadvantaged in a lot of ways. Women fought for the right to vote. We are voting, it is still a problem. Women fought for the right to contest.
Even to ride
we are
car.
Contesting, it is
It
still a
took one
problem.
woman to do it first.
We fought for the right to drive a car. It is still a problem. And now you are judging us by the amount of children that have come into our womb and come out of our womb.
So my question now is
right
that,
now?
you begin to wonder, does it mean that a woman cannot, achieve, achieve success on her own, on merit? On merit.
Without having upped from bed to bed.
Exactly. And you realize that more often than not, also, at times, the woman wants to open a door, and you realize that a lot of, rubbish is being spewed on her, which, at times, have affects our self-esteem. A lot of women will just go back, home, and they lose it all. That's
so when you say they want to open a door, could you expatiate on that a bit?
At times, yes. When you get to places, no, you get to places.
There's a reason I'm asking.
No, you get to places. You need to get some things done. Right. Ordinarily, you need to, get through this paper and get through that paper and get through that paper.
And you could actually apply for it and get it.
And life begins to gets difficult because some man somewhere feels he admires you. Someone somewhere
his admiration must be positively received.
So
it's even how we must smile at the face of. I don't know if people have ever been in a position
is
where
what I call
you can tell that a man is very much being obvious with his advances, and what you're there for is work, corporate work. Maybe you want to submit something, and all those hand rubs, backhand gestures. It's uncomfortable, but we are told to manage the situation. I'm not allowed to
even call him out.
Shout or be upset or be insultive or say no, don't. I must say, be wise about it. So it's almost like
the word is diplomatic.
Diplomatic. Thank you so much.
Diplomatic.
I am being molested in my very before as an adult one, because let's use the word as it is. And sometimes, I was talking to a guy one time and I was like, molestation. You should even be coming downstairs. Somebody will just say something. You say it's molestation. I say, you can molest me with your words. There's a way you can speak to me that you can dehumanize my womanhood. When you begin to say that, is it not just breast? Is it not just, you don't say things like that. You don't in a corporate space.
Boma.
And you say you're not molesting me. I'm uncomfortable. I don't feel safe. I'm checking myself as you're saying it. It's making me feel like there's something wrong with me. I begin to lose my confidence, like you said. And when I lose my confidence, you tell me I'm incompetent.
Now let me come from this point of view.
Hold your thoughts 1 minute.
Okay.
Boma, there is no woman that that wants to achieve. In fact, there is no woman that dares to go to school, higher institution. Let's begin from there. Let's leave the secondary school ones.
Okay.
Let's just leave it. That has not been sexually harassed. Do you know that these men who perpetuate these issues, this evil, do not know that those things you're referring to is sexual harassment?
I don't understand.
They don't know.
I don't understand.
They don't know that those advances.
I'm not your wife. You
is
don't
sexual
know me.
harassment.
I'm not your girlfriend. You
They
can't
don't know
make-
that those pats on the back, those
Rubbing me?
the useless smile, the suggestive touch under your chin. They do not know that it's sexual harassment.
No.
And so when you call it what it is, they quickly
They're
get offended.
defensive.
They're very, very deflective. They're like, no, I was just playing with you. And then they go back to your score. And then you see the result of you daring to say no or daring to call them out in the evil that they were doing in your score.
Okay, I was trying to bring up this narrative, this narrative of the fact that most often than not, if you pick about 10 women that got separated, you see that they begin to do well very much after they got separated. And you know, the saying goes by,
Why can also look for
it's the truth, and the saying goes by, oh, so she started sleeping around. So she started sleeping around. Oh, she's sleeping around. She's sleeping around to get her way, to get through her way, get things done. So where do we actually go from here? The Nigerian, because I keep talking about the Nigerian woman, because you know, you go to European world, the women, they are liberated. The women, and that's to an extent. So, but you see that Africa. Well, here in Nigeria, we still have a long way to go. Where do we go from here in redefining our own success, our own way?
I like this angle you came from, Madam Wake, because you see, this is what you call table shattering angle. Because what you're basically saying in layman's term is women tend to thrive after they are no longer hidden under the shadows of a man, because the only shadow that
I'd not say that, you know,
me,
because
I'm using
you
my
be
own
open your mouth to be saying something that I did not say. You be saying now you said it on national television.
Feel free to interpret it.
Shebi, that's more understanding. In class, teacher will teach. Everybody will carry understanding the way they understand.
Teacher will tell you, explain
your own way. This is my own explanation.
Your own words.
Because the only shadow I was ordained and created to hide under is the shadow of all not man. Man cannot shadow me. If he shadow me,
and let me land with the line of thought. And the narrative now goes by the fact that they say that a lot of women, you know, because of this, tend not to stay in their marriages.
Okay.
Because they take it back to their marriages. But you realize that at times when a woman begins to, you know, try to strive to get to the top, you know, or if she's so unfortunate to be with a man that's intimidated.
Okay.
There's a problem. So what's actually, let's talk about redefining our own success, our own way. What do we do? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I was going with this point is this. This is why I always say to people, don't marry your enemy. And you know, enemy is not the person that is insulting you or abusing you. Enemy is somebody that from your dating time, from your courtship time, you are having discussions about what matters to you, and the person cannot add value. You know, there's a way you tell somebody your plans, your aspiration, your dreams, and they will bring a business plan the next day and say, this thing you spoke about, come. I was talking to my friend. He knows somebody in that industry
that can help you out.
Do you want to do a proposal?
You know.
Should we go and speak to the person? In fact, even when you are laid back, they are almost like putting fire under your bum. Like, you gotta get it moving.
I
you gotta
love
make
the
progress.
idea.
I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and he said something. He said, Boma, only men that don't like peace do not want their wives to thrive. He said, because I promise you, when you are, he told me blatantly, he said, see, Boma, he said, my wife is doing better than me financially, and you know how I am doing financially. And this is somebody I know that is doing, when I say over comfortable, this economy now, he doesn't know what I'm talking about. He's still buying things, but he's telling me his wife is doing way better than him. He says, so what he does, he gives his wife his ATM, he said, take. He said, Boma, she doesn't touch the money in my account. She'll tell me, baby, don't worry, we use it for other projects. Baby, don't worry, 5 years, 10 years. That's how she's doing, baby, don't worry, since all these years. They are okay. He said, so when men are complaining, my wife asked me for money, he said he can't relate. Because it's a case of, my wife knows all I earn, whatever she wants to use the money to do, she tells me.
The ATM is in a custody.
And guess what? He said to me, he said, Boma, I held off of my dream for 2 years for my wife to achieve her dreams. And I asked him why. He said, because when I sat down and I thought about it logically, it was going to take me about 10 years to achieve. It was going to take her about 4 years to achieve. The faster she achieved, I had more leeway to achieve. He said, now what would have taken me 10 years by my calculation took me 6 years because she had time to help me. So the things he would have been focusing on, that stress of I'm fending for the family and pursuing my dreams.
Yeah.
He didn't have that. Why? She faced the family front. He was able to
And
go
he was
and do
able
his
to
PhD,
focus.
travel for 3 years, came back, got a job abroad, went for 1 year, came back. In 6 years, he achieved what would have taken him maybe 10 years or more. Why? He allowed the wife go first. But how many men
Because
have that
he
mentality?
critically
You know why he
examined the
critically
situation.
examined? Because he was not intimidated, like Madam YK said. So I think for me, the solution would be men need to get. And I was also in that same circle. Was like we're gisting, was a round table, and I remember that one of the guys also said to me, he said, "Boma, to be honest with you, sometimes men we don't even know that we are being intimidated or we have the ability to be intimidated." He said, "You can think you are okay
To be intimidated or feel
feel intimidated. More like some of them think that they have it under lockdown. They marry you, they're like, what's the highest success you can reach?" Sometimes what you think in your mind and the reality is two
It's
different
totally
things.
different.
So it's like, my wife will be successful, great. But the reality that
When it begins to stare at you in the face.
people are running to her, not you. Invites are coming for her, not you. She's the one that's being called. It's like all of a sudden you're in the shadows. You're in the shadows. And you're only seeing when she mentions your name. Guys, can you help me? Maybe on a podium. Like, can you let me say thank you to my husband.
Celebrate my
husband. That's the only time he's being noticed. That's when this man realized, shit, this thing they pay me. Shit.
But should it be?
I think it's a natural, to be honest, I think that it's a natural human feeling. It's like I said, I don't have a problem with you being jealous. I have a problem with what you do when you are jealous.
See,
I don't have a problem with you,
you don't
saying
need-
that you have this cloth and it's like it's entering my eye. What I do with that feeling is what I have a problem with. I can see your dress now and be like, it's not even fine, Seth. Look at the way, but I really like it, but I'm hating. And I can see it and be like, this your dress is fine. Don't let me like enter my eye. When I have money, I will buy the time. If you have, please give me. Two different perspectives to life. One gives me an opportunity to gain and earn, while one just
the
puts me
other-
at the disadvantage. Because either ways, you own the dress. You're not going to throw it away. You already have it. You have more. And I will be here hating on you, spewing online. It's not going to get me anywhere. So eventually, that woman will still leave you. Because let me tell you one of the things I've noticed, Madam YK, greatness has no place to hide.
That's all.
It can take 10 years, and you're about to only joke more do.
But it's gonna filter. It's gonna gradually
Do you
begin to
understand?
show up.
It will show.
Begin to show up.
Eventually, that marriage will work out. It will break because you can't keep subduing greatness. It's like greatness wants to,
Oma,
it wants to
Ojadeni.
come out. You can't keep it suppressed because the more she has all those sparks, especially, oh my God,
especially
people
when
that
it
see
is
those
a
sparks and
woman
they recognize
who
it.
is loved by God.
So, but
see,
you ladies, we have not. Let's talk about. Let's help somebody out there.
Redefining.
Yes,
Redefining.
Because actually, there's a lot of women. Well, the case of the president, they appointed GMD right
Yeah.
now, is because she's in the limelight.
But there are
we
many.
have 1,000,001 women
who are doing well in their various fields,
and they are going
this is
through
their reality.
I'm telling you all of this.
Now,
what do
What-
we?
when you say
or
this
do we?
is their reality?
Yes, in the sense that
They
the
do not
world
recognize.
around them,
Because of this
feels
fact-
that they shouldn't be moving that high.
Okay.
The world around them, and when I talk about the world around them,
The
you
people
hear
that
the
are
in-laws,
closest to
the
them.
family,
Very
they
good.
they feel
Colleagues.
that if I've had a situation where an in-law said to the brother's wife, or just slow, or just slow down.
Let me tell you something. When we say redefining success, we need to get to the point where you are the one that defines what success means to you.
Meaning the person in question.
The person in question. Now, I've had somebody say to me before, and this is real life. Yinka Kenny just mentioned a story. This woman said to me in her words, and I won't forget. She said, "You two go and reduce your dreams." Why are you dreaming that kind of dream? You two go and reduce your
How can you be having nonsensical dream?
And I'm not
You be
joking.
dreaming like Joseph. You be dreaming like
I'm not
Joseph that the
joking.
12 brothers are bowing before him. Are you Joseph Alalaje?
See the dream. It's shocking.
I'm sorry. I'm
And
actually
this
not
is-
being dramatic. It
See.
hits me in the gut.
That is exactly
She
what
said
somebody
reduce, the
she
word
said,
reduce.
She said the word reduce.
Wait, a woman to you.
A woman.
These are
whom
the
I
issues,
look,
though.
look at it.
These are
A
the issues,
woman-
though.
Now
Say you
look
are
at
saying.
look at the position now. A woman whom I looked up to at that point. A woman whom I felt was supposed to be a guide, a covering. A woman I felt could help me to make my partner understand this is who you marry. In case you do not know, I felt I was under a covering of somebody who had the capacity to say, this is who you married. Can you adjust? Can you? But she said to me, she said it to me. And I'm telling you, at the point when this was said to me, I had nothing. I was basically a dreamer, as it were. Now, see, the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain that he may run that reads it. Now, you see, I had not even shared 1/10 of the dream.
And they already told you to read.
I only said,
to reduce it.
I have a dream.
Sorry.
Just like Martin Luther King. I only said, I have a dream. I had not explained what the dream meant. Now, this is what I would say to every woman. We need to get to the point in our lives where we are the ones determining where and what success means to you. If to you, marriage, keeping a good home, raising good children, getting to the to wake up tomorrow and your children are doing very well. If that is your definition of success,
come on now.
Defend it with your blood.
Right.
That for you is success. You have defined it for yourself. There is no one size fits all in the matter of success. When it comes to a young woman whose mother had brainwashed her to say, if you break up in your marriage, you have failed. You need to redefine that by yourself. Redefine it for yourself. Because you see, there is a point in your life where your marriage will threaten to break. And because you are in bondage, but because your mother had told you before that if it breaks, you are failed, you would rather drop a thriving career than going for counseling and bring your partner to the same table to say, Ogbeni, this is what we stand to lose if I lose this. You'd rather say, they say, a lot of women resign very good jobs and their family's fortune, their family's fortune sinks. They become poor. In fact, they go into penury because they simply want to adjust to the status quo of society. See, don't be stereotyped by anything. That's the truth. Your definition of success is only determined by you and the future you have charted for yourself. When you're getting married to that man, let him understand the future you've charted. Let him understand that this is the future. I plan to be the GM of a company. This is my dream. I want to be the chairman of a company tomorrow. I'm planning to be on the board of directors of my institution. I don't plan to leave this industry. This is where I am going.
But let me even interrupt you here. Let me interrupt you here.
I wanted to ask you a question.
At times, let me just, in the line of our thought, at times, Tomisi, you might not even see where you are going to. Yes, at the point of entry into marriage, you might not even see yourself beyond where you are. You might not have that vision. You might not be enlightened to a lot of things. You might not be open to a lot of things.
And it just happens to you by happenstance.
And it happens. So it doesn't mean that because that was not what you planned. It doesn't mean that you don't have a right to move on. It doesn't mean that you don't have a right to achieve. When you see that, this is another phase to life. This is another approach to life. You have a right. You call it to a round table and let him understand. Hey, look here, man. At the time I was getting married to you, I wasn't a graduate. Now, to God be the glory.
You knew I wanted to go to school.
Yes, I might not even want to go to school. Look, for crying out loud. No, Tomisi, no. I could start teaching my children, and I begin to create that interest. The passion comes in, and I talk to you. I tell you, hey, look here, man. See,
I want to further my
education. I want to go to school. That's where it comes to the fact that, you have to have, I tell women, try as much as you can, have a mind of your own. Have a mind. Do not be tossed here and there.
See your student.
Thank you so much, Auntie. Can I talk now, Auntie?
Please.
Thank you, Auntie YK and Auntie Tomisi. Very good. What I was going to say is this. I love these two angles you've come from. But here's something else. Sometimes your dream can change. Sometimes your dreams can metamorphosize. Meaning that I can want to be in media today, and tomorrow I have such a knack for medicine.
And that's you're talking to me.
I
actually
look at that.
In school, I actually did science in secondary school.
Wow.
But I actually didn't want to do science. But when this JS, it's not life. When this JSS thing just started, the brain in the school, they just carried all of us to science. friends. I cried and cried, they left us. Then he was still shacking them. The brain in school. I left school. I never did science for one day. I had passion for secretarial administration. I had passion, and I pursued it.
And
I did it. I did it for about 20 years of my life. At one point in time, I started developing, interest for media presentation, so to speak. I tell you, and I pursued it. That you see,
look at how
I never saw myself in front of a big screen when I was growing up.
Thank you
now,
so
much. Assuming I got married to someone, he had always seen the secretary and everything, the PA, the office woman, the PA, the one MD, the PA, do this and all of that. And all of a sudden, I said to you, I want to go do a course in broadcast presentation. And you are saying, well, where are you coming from? Where?
You're not saying you want to show yourself. You want to be a star.
You want them to be seeing you. You want to be a celebrity.
How do you say, carry me? Carry me. Because I'm saying this because I know that sometime last year, what I had in mind, and sometimes you can even have giftings and talents show themselves by seasons.
Yes.
There are seasons in your life where the truth is that thing you can't pursue it at that time. A new mother cannot be pursuing media in the way that we know the way media works.
Yeah.
Somebody who just put to bed now, she cannot pursue media, but she needs to make money. So she says, you know what, I will work at the back end of media, maybe in production or administration or writing. I'll write scripts right now because I can't be in front of the screen. And then maybe her baby is now 2 years old and she goes, you know what, now I can put him in school. We can have a nanny. And the man begins to say, which one is nanny? None of my kids will stay with a nanny. That's where the problem begins. So what I would say to women is this. Don't allow, because another thing I noticed too, let's be very fair, I've met men that have said, did she tell me I didn't support? I didn't know. She just woke up one day and she woke up with anger. So some women already project that their man will reject before
whatever
they even
it is
speak.
that they want to say.
So they begin to project crankiness. They're coming with a lot of, before he says no, I'm coming with the fight. So I'm going to do this. I want to do this. And the man is like,
have a conversation
about
it.
You, right? You've not even, so when the man is asking questions, because I always tell women
don't feel offended.
There is questioning you and there's asking questions. A man can genuinely be confused, like you said. You were in secretary, you were in admin, you say media. Yes. Run me through the thought process. And that's not a bad thing because he's your partner.
Exactly.
If he's going to walk the journey with you, he
needs to understand where you're going.
So women also need to get to the point where they sit with themselves, discover that this thing, I'm beginning to like it. And from that time, this is why I say discussion. If you get to me, then what is your pillow talk? Say, babe, do you know that this thing has just been doing me that I should do broadcasting, I should do presenting? I don't know what it is. You can even laugh about it that day. And then by the time you say it 2-3 times, a man who is paying attention to you say, babe, you've been talking about this thing now, like for like 4 months, you are mentioning it. Oh yeah, let's talk. Is this something you really want to do? Because you might need to create a family plan around it. So for me, because I also know, and I'm saying this because I know women, both in relationships, both in marriages, who just woke up and took decisions by themselves.
Let me burst your bubble. I just remembered a younger, not really a friend, more or less like a baby, to me. Went to school, spent all those years reading medicine.
Ew.
Today she's doing well with a fashion house. She didn't work with medicine.
And she did not carry stethoscope
for one day.
And she didn't plan it. Which brings me to this particular conversation that I'd like to have with our systems. You see, we cannot sit down here and totally say that the men are bad. Yes. When it comes to sharing the dream.
Yes.
See, we're not saying the men are bad.
Me.
See, I'd like you to have conversations. Yes. But you see, the manner with which you present the conversation also
very
matters.
Important.
Okay. Now, when you're presenting it with a lot of wisdom, especially in a case where it is something that is coming up, it has never been discussed.
Yes.
Present it. Now, the place where you will be wise, where the Bible was telling you that a wise woman builds a home, is when you begin to achieve this success. Okay, and then you cannot manage it. This is why a lot of men are scared of their women achieving.
Let's be honest.
The man does not see. It is not in his mind to witch hunt you.
Yup.
It's not in his mind to stop you from being who you are. But
Preach.
some men understand that their women cannot manage success and money.
Agreed.
They know that you're going to gain what Yorubas call iwa oniwa. You suddenly become somebody else because you have money, and then you begin to
shoulder pads.
You gain plenty shoulder pads, and then you are riding the man. You are feeling like you are mama Sally. You have arrived. The more successful you get, the more humble you must become. You must grow this way and grow this way.
I'm telling you.
See, the more you go up, the more
Outside.
humble you must get when you get into the house. And I'm not saying get your salary, go and submit it to. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not.
But
That's
humility.
that's what they say.
That is not humility. That is foolishness.
So rounding up, Tommy.
Rounding up. See, the point is that you must grow in humility. The more successful you are, doesn't mean you'll be foolish, doesn't mean you're going to be stepped all over. But see, you have to be able to manage the success in such a way that the man in question will know that she's doing her best to submit to me, to make sure she's running the home well, to carry me along. And please, so when you are doing all of these things, man, rather than feeling intimidated, let me advise you, don't stop when your wife is a dreamer. If you had attained to a certain level, like Boma said at some point, Boma said there's a possibility jealousy used to hide somewhere. It will just show up and you never expected it. What you need to do for yourself is when your wife is dreaming and she's stepping up a pedestal, set up a growth plan. Husband and wife. As your wife goes to school to do masters, go to school. Compete. Let there be healthy competition in your house. You go do your masters. She's doing her PhD. As she's finishing, go do your PhD. Whether you like it or not. Plan together. And in the situation where there is no money, trust me, the two of you can come together because you're working towards a goal. You are driving your family and you're driving your children. Your children will know that our parents are not stopping, they're achievers. So they will follow suit. You can actually see, both of you can plan it. You will go to school first, we continue, and then me, I will go next. After 1 year, I will start mine. If you plan that strategically, you would have a good family. And everybody will be fine. Basically, how you define success in your home is how it will be. Thank you. My name is Oluwatomi Adebukola.
All right, my parting shot from the Boma Johnson, just 3 major things. Nobody has the full picture of what their lives will be. Number 1 is both parties who are saying they love each other. For me, grace. For me, grace. You must be graceful towards each other. Meaning that I must give room, right? For many things that I may not even be aware of that will come up tomorrow. Just like we say in sickness and in health, nobody prays to be sick. But if it happens, I must understand that this is something that at the back of my mind, I was going to stick through. So be graceful to your partners. Number 2 is people need to learn to communicate, not just the words, but the how. One of the ways that I tell people to communicate is speak to your friend and say, this thing I want to tell my husband, and I don't know how to place it down, right? Do you think I should say it like this or like this? If you have somebody of authority, that you report to, they can help you in putting your thoughts together. And when your partner begins to ask questions, don't see it as a way to be angry or defensive, because the truth is, if you drop something in my lap that's coming out of nowhere, sometimes what is really happening to your partner is even panic. They are beginning to feel like, oh my God, what do I do now? Where are they? So for me, you need to, give, that leeway too also. And the last thing I would say is, women need to know themselves. Women need to sit down and really know themselves. If you don't have to know all, but at least know something that you like, you desire, and you want. Because most men already know what they're chasing and what they want. We are the ones that always find out. We fall into things. We hardly ever know. We just fall into it. That's always the issue. So women need to know themselves and they need to know what they're pursuing.
All right. Your name is?
My name is The Boma Johnson.
The Boma Johnson.
Okay, before I just round off the show, let me bring in Olayinka Mayaki Yusuf into this discussion. Yes, she's there on our YouTube page, and she's saying, Boma just talked about me. I wanted to be a doctor, but I studied engineering and finally ended with a career in media.
Just look at that.
She also says such plans only work with a partner that genuinely cares for you and is interested to see you become that which you dream. And for some men, no matter the submission and humility, they will talk you down even before they public does. Well, at this point, I would say that's all we have for you on the show today. As a woman, a Nigerian woman particularly, because I know that, this is what we face on a daily basis, whether directly or indirectly. There are stereotypes everywhere, in the family, at the workplace, even in our religious houses. But in the midst of it all, I want to say to you, know who you are, stand on who you are, let nobody define who you are, and be ready to chase your dream. Do not allow anybody kill your dream. You are what you say you are, and you can be whatever you decide to be. My name is Yinka Kenny. Till we come your way on the same show, Honest View. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Voice of the People TV. Voice of the People TV.
VOP
That's
Live.
on YouTube and every other social media handle VOP TV Live. From the ladies, myself, Yinka Boma, Tommy Singh. Right now we say bye-bye.
Have I
See you next week.
See ya.